Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or Chachwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta. And I've got the word vote pulled up right here on the Etamon online. This past weekend at camp, this was brought up, and I think this, considering this the day that it is, this Tuesday, that everyone's going out to vote, I figure it's a great time to go into this word, and then the Lord will get into some scriptures on it. And so, here is the verb, or the noun for vote, from the Etamon online. And it says, from the mid-15th century, a formal expression of one's wish or choice with regard to a proposal, a candidate, etc. So it's your choice or your wish for whichever option is available. And it says for a proposal, so you could be voting yay or nay on some type of say tax incentive, or for some type of real estate deal or something like that. And then it also has candidate, so that goes straight into what they're doing today, which is voting for a candidate, voting for their choice. Since we're here, let's get the word candidate. And from the noun for candidate, it says a person who seeks or is put forward for an office by election or appointment. And so with this election, you have both Trump and you have Kamala. And those are the two candidates. And it says from Latin, candidatus, so one aspiring to office, originally white-robed. That white goes into innocence and purity. It says past participle of candidar, to make white or bright, from candidus, past participle of candir, to shine. And so these are your two shining options, basically. This is supposed to be the best of the best, your shining ones. And that's what's up there. That's the best of America. What you see in those voting ballots today. Those are the two candidates, the two shining ones. And both of them, you've got Donald Trump, who's a Republican, and you've got Kamala Harris, who is a Democrat. They are both not Israelites. And we're going to go jump here into the scripture, because that's part of the criteria for Israelites to actually choose or to vote on a candidate. So we've got Deuteronomy chapter 17, and just to the point at verse 15. Actually, we'll start at 14. It says, when thou art come into the land which the Lord, Yahweh, thy power, giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, and this is Israel, that's the land, dealing with the Israelites as well. It says, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord Yahweh, thy power, shall choose. And here's the point. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. And both of them, Donald Trump being an Edomite, and if you saw what Candace Owens was going into Kamala's lineage, Kamala's an Amalekite. She's an Edomite as well. She's just a melanated Edomite. She's a actual Oreo. And she's not one of our people. The Israelites are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And as you see here, she's neither a king nor someone of your brethren. It says, thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. And so if you're out there voting as an Israelite today, you're you're going against the law, statutes, and commandments. You shouldn't be doing that in the first place. But moving on with this word vote. It says from Latin votum, a vow, a wish, a promise to a god, solemn pledge, a dedication. And so this comes from the word vow, which goes into promising to a god. Even within the scriptures, you'll see the Lord mention vows, which search for that. And it talks of it binding your soul. A vow. Actually, let's even vow binding. And this is actually we'll go to 10 because that's even more closer. But Numbers 30 and verse 9. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced wherewith they have bound their soul. So this is actually binding your soul. Shall stand against her, and she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. And so this is no small act of going out to vote. It's a lot larger and a lot more spiritual than people are taking it for. And this chapter right here is going into women actually making vows, and their fathers and their husband being able to disallow that vow, to break that vow, because women are, they're run off their emotions, so not everything might have been thought through, and a man can, particularly her husband or father, can disallow that vow. But we're putting up a candidate that is a woman, and that a man can disallow her vow. It doesn't make sense to be voting for a woman to be over you. The Lord doesn't think that makes sense as well. But these people are going to do what they want to do, and they are rebellious, so we're going to let them have it. But the point being that this bounds your soul, this making vows like this. And what are you bounding your soul to? It even says it here. It says it's a promise to a God. And we know that the God of this world, as it speaks of in Thessalonians, is not the Most High, Yahweh, and it's not his son, Yahweh Shai, because this world is against everything that the Lord stands for and does. And moving back to the scriptures, we're not to have any gods before him. Actually, that's Exodus. Let's just go. Exodus 20 and verse 3 says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." And that's plain, but these people are making vows. They're voting, which is a vow, to basically keep this world up. They're voting for the God of this world, for trying to keep America up. And this even goes into the image of the beast. They are worshiping the image of the beast with going and putting their vote in for a candidate. And they're vowing to that candidate who's in alignment with the God of this world, because these are worldly things. You should have no concern with what's going on at these ballots today as an Israelite. Let the others do what they want, but this has no concern to us as Israelites. And this is how they run their system, on this false left-right paradigm, that exists, and it's only here to give the illusion of control, but we don't have any control here. This is the heaven of the Edomites, and their elite are actually pulling all the strings, and they actually select who they want to be in office. It has nothing to do with the outcome of these votes or vows that these people are putting in today. It's a solemn pledge, dedication, noun. It's the use of neuter of votus, past participle of volere, to promise, to dedicate. And these people are making a promise to this world, and they're dedicating themselves to it. This is the meaning totality of voters of a certain class or type. It's from 1888. And let's read the verb. It's to give a vote, to enact or established by a vote. Earlier, it meant to vow to do something. So it's coming from the word vow again. And then let's go into the word vow, because that's where the word vote comes from the Latin votum. So vow is a solemn promise, and the only entity that you should be making any solemn promises to is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And even with that, you need to be careful with it, because if you remember Jephthah, and he made a vow to the Lord that he would sacrifice the first thing that came out of his door if he got the win over the Ammonites. And when he did get the win over the Ammonites, he got back home, and his daughter, who he loved dearly, came out, and he made a vow, and he had to pay for that vow. He had to stand by that vow. And so you got to be careful with making vows. I would even say don't even do it. Like today, I'm not voting because it doesn't make sense, and I'm not willing to bind my soul unto that candidate, or unto the image of this beast, or unto this world. So, not doing it. That's also that's the choice that people don't really realize that they have. That they don't have to actually take action. They can just sit back and watch the chaos unfold. But these are busybodies here. But the word vow is a noun. Solemn promise, from the 1300s, from Anglo-French and Old French, vaux, which is modern French vouer, from Latin votum, a promise to a god. Solemn pledge, dedication, that which is promised, a wish, a desire, a longing, a prayer. So these people, when they cast their vote, they're in a way praying unto the gods of this world, unto the image of this beast. This is noun. Use of neuter of votus, past participle of volere, to promise, to promise solemnly, to pledge, to dedicate, to vow, to speak solemnly, to vow to preach, one who offers a sacrifice. So that is their sacrifice in that ballot box. They're putting a mark for their candidate. The meaning, solemn engagement to devote oneself to a religious order or life, is from 1400. Earlier, to bind oneself to chastity. And we just saw it in the scriptures, to bind one's soul. And so that's what these people are doing when they're going and dropping that ballot. They're binding themselves unto this beast, unto the god of this world, unto their candidate, who isn't going to do anything for them, and who's not of their people. They're just messing up. Bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Um, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. That beast that had a wound by the sword and did live is the Roman Empire. And so they're making a image to it, and this is in homage to Rome, but it's the reiteration of Rome, because Rome fell, but what's risen up, this same beast, it rose back up at the Renaissance, which makes up NATO and the EU, with America riding its back. It's all an image to Rome, a homage to Rome. It did live, and it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this image and this worshiping, that's taking place within this voting, this vowing of vow unto this God, the God of this world, and unto this image, unto this beast, this Roman way of life, this false system, this false paradigm that's set up, this left-right paradigm that's set up. These people are vowing and binding their souls unto it because they believe in it, and that's allowing this place to live. But the Lord's going to shut this place down because it's all falseness. This system is false. There's an electoral college that really makes the decision on who gets to be in power, or at least the false image, this false position of even being in power, because the president isn't the most powerful man or woman, because we've got a woman coming in. And this is these people are all binding themselves onto this system, and it's not going to work out. And then they're going to try to harm the ones, particularly the elect, who aren't binding themselves onto this system. They're going, as it says, as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. These are the people that won't worship it, that won't bind themselves to it or make vows to this system. They're going to try to kill them, and we know that the persecution is coming. And they have been warning us recently that, hey, if you don't register to vote or go out and vote, we're going to be publicly held accountable to that. So there's records that we didn't go and vote. There's records that we didn't go and bind our souls to the system back in 2021 with the snake bite. There's records on this. And eventually this persecution is going to come. But Lord willing, he keeps his elect strong and allows them to get through this, because it is coming and this system is falling, and we just got to stay strong and not bind our souls to this system and take these vows and just be a part of it. We got to come out of this world in general more and more, which I think the brothers and sisters are doing a great job so far. We still have tougher parts to get through, but the Lord's with us. We just have to pray and pray that he keeps us within his shadow. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Urchakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.